for positive mental stimulation and good vibes, filled with encouragement, inspiration, scripture, and affirmations. It's uplifting the world in support of peace, strength, wisdom, and faith. All information and resources are based on the research and opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. This is Inspire Hour, and I'm your host, Tony Williams. Welcome. Welcome to my new listeners and all of my day ones. This is Inspire Our podcast, and today we are talking about positive thinking and the power that it brings. Every day we go through something challenging, different. We learn new things. We have successes as well as some failures, but the end result is greatness. How do we get there? Well, for one, the power of positive thinking is a great way to get there. We want to achieve, we want to learn, we want to imagine, succeed, explore dreams, live. We also want to create and inspire others to do the same. So positive thinking, it does play a major part of the road to success and everything that anyone would like to accomplish. It's facing those challenges of the unknown head on with positivity and determination. So if we're thinking positive, say for example we face a situation to where we're at one job and we would like to better our career and go to the next, which is something better, bigger, and something that you want. Well, it starts with thought. Anything that we do, it begins with a thought. If it's positive, we can take it somewhere. If it's not, it can be a stumbling block for ourselves. So if we're at job A, but we want job B, if we look at all the qualifications that it takes and we're going, oh, I don't know if I'm that good, or just down talk to ourselves instead of having the positive thought that that's something that we can do, we won't get there. So it truly is learning to think positive instead of saying, I don't think I can do this. You say, I think I can do this. And what I don't know, I am willing to learn. I'm willing to explore the unknown to better myself so I can get that job. I mean, it's not just for jobs, it's for pretty much anything. Content creators, pastors, lawyers, doctors. I mean, there's no limit to who this can be helpful for. So we have to take the time to kind of positively map out what we perceive to be our primary goals and attitude and thought. And by defining those things, we can better tailor our positive thoughts to reach those goals. Ultimately, this will result in a more fulfilling experience as well as success. It's not one of those things that will just necessarily happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day, and it did take some time. But learning the process of changing our negative thoughts to a more positive one can greatly excel our journey and get us there. And when we can do that, it can be amazing. The feeling would be pretty much phenomenal. Positive thinking not only helps us on our journey, but it also reduces stress by eliminating the negative self-talk. And when we do that, we're well on our way. You can do anything that you put your mind to. That's that first step in the positive thinking. I mean, there are strategies to positive thinking. So, okay, let's dive a little bit into what positive thinking is. It's an emotional and mental attitude that focuses on the good and expects results that will benefit you. It's about anticipating happiness, health, and success, which is essentially training yourself to adopt an abundance mindset and cultivate gratitude for your own successes and those of others around you. So really, how important is the power of positive thinking? It can make or break anyone. Your thoughts affect your actions, and of course your actions in turn translate into whether or not you succeed in your dreams, your desires, your goals, or your field of work, as well as influence the quality of your personal relationships and how you view the world as a whole. The power of positive thinking, it can be understood as long as we take the time to really get into it. It's almost like, okay, if we can take the time to stand in a line to purchase tennis shoes or the next hot gadget, we can take the time to set ourselves up to think more positively about who we are, what we are, and what we want to achieve. So the first step is realizing that it truly is all up to you. When you become the master of your emotions, you can always determine your mindset regardless of any outside influences. And it's also taking responsibility for how you think, act, and feel, as well as how you allow everything in your life to fall out of place or into place. And we can't always control everything that goes on as far as life events, but we can control how we react to them. And once we empower ourselves to change what is in our control, then we're ready to embrace the power of positive thinking. So let's take control of our state. What is it about us that we notice? Are we speaking positivity or negative? And that will help begin that process of eliminating the negative self-talk and those stumbling blocks that can get in the way. Do we take the time to make eye contact with others? Do we actually listen to ourselves, speak to ourselves, as well as how we speak to others? Because believe it or not, it all goes together. Do we allow our environment and circumstances to control us. It's not a powerful stance. And it tells those around us that we are uneasy, possibly angry or sad or want to be left alone. And it's kind of like poor posture. And it does create a feedback loop of negativity. And that's something that we don't need. Thinking positively is as much about your body as it is about your brain. So that's why we have to take control of ourselves by taking pride in how we present ourselves and project positive thinking. So it's working on that posture, as if we were really working on our posture. To work on that, we would practice sitting up erect and with our spines aligned. And it will be catching ourselves when we slouch. And that's kind of how that goes with positive thinking. It's catching yourself when you say something negative, whether it's to yourself or someone else. When you can recognize those, you can correct that. And it can be done. That way, you are left feeling strong and positive. And when you're feeling strong and positive, it's easier to think positive. It's much easier. And at the same time, it's ridding ourselves of that not being confident in how we feel or how we think. And it's sort of like trying to nip nervous habits, like fidgeting or twirling your hair, things like that, or popping gum. And that technique does require you to observe yourself. So self-reflection definitely plays a large part of it. Because you can only do something about something you notice. If you never notice it, there's no way of really fixing it. Because a lot of times, someone else can say something to you about it. Can say, hey, you're being kind of a negative Nancy. And for some, it's helpful. But at the same time, for others, it may not be so helpful because you may not value that person's opinion or trust or believe in their opinion due to a negative mindset. And that's something that we definitely want to rid ourselves of. Because those around you will pick up on the psychological signals that you're sending and will respond either positively or negatively. And the more you portray positivity and others see you in this way, the easier it becomes to think positive, which will in turn create a positive feedback loop. And that's something you do want. You will then be able to focus on others and do things such as asking questions, and that's of others as well as yourself. So it's adjusting your mindset. And believe me, it's not going to be just as easy as buying a cake and eating it. It won't be, but it is a realistic goal. And it is something that you can do. So adjusting your physiology is only one part of it. It's critical to catch the other negativity triggers, because there are triggers in its opening stages, as well as your mindset, because it governs what thoughts flow through your head and how you feel and react to each one. And if our mindset is poor and negative, everything around us is going to seem all that worse. So let's take, for example, if you're visiting a doctor and the waiting room is pretty full. If we go in with a negative, poor mindset, we're going to be grouchy. Our nerves are going to be a wreck. Our attitude is not going to be great, which does not make for patience. And so our patience is going to be very, very thin. And so our mind is going into all of these roller coasters. What's taking so long? Why is it taking so long? And it's not okay, it's taking a while. Someone is really needing help, with possibly a serious, situation. So I'm going to just be patient. No, it's more of they need to hurry up. They have to hurry up. I can't be sitting here all day long. And so that's just one of the examples. Or should I use airport? Because a lot of us do travel. So you're at an airport and are unnecessarily delayed while going through security. Then the airline attendant checking you in is rude to you. Another airline worker overhears, apologizes, and offers to bump your ticket up to business class. Well, once you're in the air, you're fixated on the hassles you face in the airport, or are you full of gratitude for your spacious seat and free cocktail? Do you think of the delay as a wasted time or as a way to take time and reconnect with yourself? So the question becomes, do you automatically revert to the power of positive thinking, or do the negative thoughts overrun it all? Well, it's a choice. We can choose to focus on the negatives or the positives of this in any scenario. But if we choose to focus on what's bothering us, it will begin to negatively impact our lives. Then you will start to notice you'll also attract more negative situations and people. People won't be friendly to you when you're scowling and looking very hostile and unfriendly, especially when it comes to business or something you're trying to do. You'll forget that you can empower yourself to face and handle any situation and start believing that positive thinking is out of your reach. You may even punish your partner or others for not living up to your expectations, eroding your relationships and adding to more bitterness. Well, positive thinking can bypass that and lead to a more fulfilling and happy life, and can put us all that much closer at achieving any goals or handling any challenges that we face. So if we take the time to inspire ourselves and each other and use those positive thoughts versus the negative ones to change our mindset and our outlook on life and what happens in life, we can better ourselves. We can definitely see ourselves in a better light. And others will do the same. They will see us in a better light, and which can bring more gratefulness to our lives as well as happiness. It's better to be positive than negative. So cultivating a mindset that is grateful and open rather than negative and closed off will ensure a peace of mind, less stress, and new, healthier habits. And that's something that we can all use. We all deserve it. To be less agitated, to be more hopeful, to be more positive, and it can actually energize us. That way we're not also agitated at everything. And we all know people like that, and they're not exactly fun to be around. And they don't exactly get things done that they may want to get done, and we don't want to be that way. And no worries about failing. If you try something and you don't do so good at it, it's okay. Try again. Rework it. It's not failing, it is learning. And when you learn, you can do better. And don't fall apart. And don't be negative towards yourself or anyone else. Let's be positive and stop the spiral of doubt. And you can do this by blocking it with positive thoughts. Because if you're able to cut off a negative thought pattern before it gets out of control, you can shift to a positive thought or even affirmations instead. And this can train your mind to block those negative thoughts with positive thinking. And the whole time, we're steadily training ourselves to stop thinking in a negative way. And for a lot of us, at that point, fear will not control our lives. We'll be empowered to take control. And then we can choose our words carefully to ourselves and others, and that'll be a great habit. And you can also look at those people that you admire. The people that you admire tend to be the ones who think positive, and they have a great and profound impact on your life and others' lives. And this can be anyone. It could be a close friend, a family member, or heck, it could even be someone you've never met, but you know of them, you know their mottos and things like that. Chances are they use the power of positive thinking to find the success that they're seeking. And you definitely can too. And when you feel yourself falling into negative habits and can't quite seem to figure out how to think positively, you can pull up quotes, you can pull up affirmations, anything that is going to reinstill in you positive thoughts, as well as contentment and gratefulness. And well, you can see how it will be working. See how it will help you. Yes, positive thinking can change your life. So think positive. Positive thinking is powerful. The words you say is powerful, especially when it's self-talk. So, speak positive in everything that you do, and positivity will flow back to you. And don't be afraid to take some time to self-reflect, because that's where it starts. Be positive. You are important. You are loved. You are cherished. And you are needed. And someone does look up to you, whether you realize it or not. Someone does. Someone is, especially children, are emulating you. They want to be like you. So let that positivity flow and shine for the world to see. Take care. You have been listening to O1 Radio, the talk show podcast station. Thank you for taking time to listen to Inspire Our podcast. I wish you peace, strength, to listen live and chat during a live broadcast, visit On One Radio over at Spreaker.com. We can also be found on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and WordPress. Until next time, have a blessed and productive day today.